Welcome to Augmented Voices. We're the show that looks at how generative AI is changing things up, particularly for businesses here in the UK, financial services, tech companies, SMEs, you name it.
And today, we've got a couple of really interesting, maybe even slightly startling developments on the AI front to unpack, things that could, really change how businesses operate down the line.
Absolutely. First up, we're going to look at a startup called Mechanize. And their goal is, well, it's pretty audacious. They're aiming to automate all human labor.
All of it. Yeah, it's a big one. We'll get into their vision, the tech they're trying to build, the frankly massive market they see, and also some of the ethical storms brewing around it already.
Right. What does that kind of ambition even mean for the future of work, especially here in the UK?
And then we'll switch gears a bit. We'll talk about something called same page MCP. It's this idea for a universal memory for AI developed by a 19-year-old, remarkably.
Universal memory. So making different AIs work together more smoothly.
Exactly. Think about businesses using tools from OpenAI, Anthropic, Google. This aims to make those interactions seamless, personalized, a potential solution to a big headache in the current AI world.
Okay, that sounds incredibly useful. So whether you're, planning strategy for a financial firm, scaling a tech startup, or just trying to figure out AI in your SME, understanding these trends feels pretty crucial.
Definitely. We'll break down what matters, maybe what to watch out for, and the questions you should probably be asking.
All right, let's dive into Mechanize first.
Yeah.
This mission, full automation of all work, even the full automation of the autonomy. I mean, where do you even start with that?
Well, their core idea is building these complex virtual environments. Think of them like incredibly detailed simulators for
But to
jobs.
train AI agents.
Precisely. They believe the real value in AI isn't just, chatbots or image generation, but actually automating ordinary everyday labor, the stuff that makes the economy tick.
So they're implicitly saying current AI models. They're just not cutting it for real world work yet.
That's their premise. They highlight issues like unreliability, problems with long context understanding, handling different types of inputs, multimodal stuff, and crucially, sticking to long-term plans without going off track.
Okay, so the simulation is the key. Using reinforcement learning, you mentioned.
Yeah, basically teaching the AI through trial and error in these simulated jobs, rewarding it for getting things right over complex, extended tasks, almost like an apprenticeship, but for an AI in a digital world.
And the market size they're talking about.
It's huge. The co-founder, Tamay Besaroglu, estimates it at $18 trillion a year just in U.S. wages. Globally, maybe $60 trillion. He calls the potential absurdly large.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You can see why investors might be interested, but it also immediately flags concerns, doesn't
Oh,
it?
absolutely. And the launch has been controversial, partly because Besaroglu is also linked to Epoch, a nonprofit AI research group.
Right, so people are worried about potential conflicts of interest. Like, is nonprofit research feeding this very ambitious for-profit venture?
That's the criticism, yeah. Concerns about the impact on livelihoods are obviously front and center, too. I mean, automating all work, that's existentially worrying for a lot of people. Apparently, one Epoch director even made a sarcastic comment online about the comms crisis around the launch.
So it's definitely making waves, but they have secured funding.
They have. Some big names in tech and AI are backing them. People like Nat Friedman, Daniel Gross, Patrick Collison, even Jeff Dean from Google.
Okay, so despite the controversy, there's serious belief in the team or the approach.
Seems so. One investor, Marcus Abramovich, publicly praised their deep understanding of AI. So the technical credibility seems to be there, at least in the eyes of their backers.
What's Mechanize's counter-argument to the job loss fears? How do they frame this?
They argue that full automation could actually lead to, higher living standards, economic abundance, maybe freeing people up from drudgery.
Yeah.
They suggest new goods and services could emerge, and people might benefit through things like dividends, rents, welfare, or even new roles working alongside AI agents.
The sort of post-work utopia argument.
Kind of. But critics push back hard on the practicalities. If you automate vast swaths of jobs, where does consumer income come from? How do people afford these new goods and services?
Right, the demand side problem. And the risk of wealth just concentrating further with whoever owns the AI agents, unless you radically restructure the economy.
Exactly. Massive inequality is a major concern. These are huge societal questions that go way beyond just the tech.
And they acknowledge the tech isn't there yet.
Oh, yes. Vili Reglu himself points out that current agents struggle with forgetting things, failing complex tasks autonomously, getting derailed on long projects.
So their simulation approach is meant to fix those specific problems.
That's the plan. Better training environments, better ways to evaluate if the AI is actually learning the job properly. But they're not alone in tackling this. OpenAI, Salesforce, Microsoft, lots of big players and other startups are working on making AI agents more capable and reliable.
So for our UK listeners, the finance folks, the tech startups, the
Yeah.
SMEs, what's the immediate takeaway from Mechanize? Is this something to worry about next quarter?
Probably not next quarter in terms of full automation arriving, but it signals a very clear direction of travel. The ambition is there. So business leaders need to think beyond just using AI as a simple tool.
More about fundamental transformation.
Potentially, yes. In the short term, the opportunity is definitely in augmenting existing roles, automating the routine stuff, admin, reporting, finding information, boosting productivity now.
But ignoring this long-term push towards more comprehensive automation, that could be risky.
It could leave you playing catch up later, yeah. Especially as potentially AI native businesses emerge. So it's about balancing present gains with future readiness.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's shift now to the second topic. Same page MCP.
Yeah,
This sounds less apocalyptic, more immediately practical.
definitely. Developed by Dharavya Shah, who's only 19, which is amazing in itself, it tackles this problem of AI fragmentation.
Fragmentation. You mean like using different AI tools that don't share information?
Exactly. Businesses are increasingly using multiple models, right? Maybe GPT-4 for writing, Claude 3 for analysis, Gemini for something else. But these models operate in silos. They don't remember what the other one learned or what the user said previously.
Which leads to clunky experiences. You have to repeat yourself, or the AI gives inconsistent answers.
Precisely. It's inefficient and frustrating. Same page MCP aims to be an interoperability layer, a kind of universal memory that sits across these different LLMs.
So it provides shared context.
That's the idea. It allows for consistent, personalized AI interactions, even if you're switching between models from different providers.
I can immediately see how valuable that would be for businesses, customer service, for example.
Hugely valuable there. Maintaining context in a customer conversation is critical for trust and just, providing good service. Same goes for internal AI assistants or knowledge management platforms. Without context continuity, the value of using multiple specialized AIs really diminishes.
And this developer, Shah, also built something called supermemory.
Yeah, it seems related in philosophy. Supermemory is positioned as a private, encrypted second brain. It helps you collect, organize, and search online content and your own notes using AI.
Like a personal knowledge management system.
Right, integrating with things like Notion, Twitter, Obsidian, Slack. But the key things seem to be the AI-powered search across everything and a strong emphasis on privacy.
Privacy. That's becoming a bigger and bigger theme with AI, isn't it?
Absolutely. Supermemory is apparently built with end-to-end encryption, a zero-knowledge design, even the option to self-host. So users keep control over their data, which addresses a lot of the surveillance concerns around AI.
It's pretty impressive that one person is behind both these projects.
It really is. Shows the pace of innovation. And Shaw's vision seems focused on AI augmenting human capabilities rather than outright replacement.
So for UK businesses, especially in finance or SMEs, same page MCP, this feels like something they could potentially use sooner rather than later.
I think so. It offers a way to build more coherent, user-friendly AI systems without being locked into a single vendor. In finance, like we said, consistent context is vital. For SMEs, it's a way to leverage the best AI for specific tasks without creating a confusing, fragmented system for their employees or customers.
Meeting that expectation for personalized AI experiences.
Right. It could mean smoother handovers between different AI tools or even between an AI and a human team member. Preserving user preferences, building trust through consistency, these are all big pluses.
But it's not just a simple tech upgrade, you're saying.
Yeah.
Needs strategic thinking.
Yeah, you need to consider how it fits into your overall workflow and data strategy. It's infrastructure, not just an app.
Okay, one more development I wanted to touch on briefly, which also relates to AI's practical application, is what Meta's doing on Instagram.
Ah, yes, the AI for teen safety. That's an interesting one, too.
Right, they're using AI to try and detect users who might have lied about their age, saying they're over 18 when they're not.
And if the AI flags them, it automatically moves them into these restricted teen accounts.
Exactly. These accounts have built-in protections, like limiting who can contact the teen, filtering content, and requiring parental permission for changing safety settings, especially for the under 16s.
How does the AI actually figure this out? It seems tricky.
Well, they say it cross-references different signals, things like happy birthday posts from friends that might contradict the stated age or maybe user reports. It builds on their existing AI for age estimation.
Interesting. But potentially prone to errors, I'd imagine.
They claim they're working on accuracy and offer a way for users to appeal or adjust settings if they get misclassified. They're also nudging parents to talk to their kids about age accuracy.
And this isn't just Instagram, right? They've rolled out similar things on Facebook and Messenger.
Yeah, they report something like 54 million teens globally are in these protected accounts with high retention rates, suggesting most teens stay within those safer settings once placed there.
So what's the significance for our UK business audience here? Its social media safety seems a bit different.
I think the interesting angle is seeing AI used for proactive enforcement of rules and regulations, moving beyond just being a helpful co-pilot.
Ah, I see. So applying that logic to other sectors, like finance.
Exactly. Could AI be used more actively to identify and mitigate compliance risks? Think about detecting suspicious financial activity automatically, or ensuring KYC requirements are met dynamically, not just at onboarding.
Using AI for active compliance monitoring and enforcement, rather than just flagging things for humans to review later.
Right. It shows AI's potential role in maintaining integrity and ensuring compliance, not just efficiency. Of course, that comes with its own challenges: data quality, bias, ethical oversight.
Absolutely. You need robust systems and transparency to maintain public trust if AI is making these kinds of enforcement decisions. But it's a powerful demonstration of where AI capabilities could go in regulated industries.
So let's try and tie these threads together. We've covered quite a bit. We have, from Mechanize's radical ambition for total automation,
To same-page MCP's clever solution for making today's multi-AI world work better.
and Instagram using AI for proactive safety enforcement, pointing towards AI and compliance.
For our listeners, UK financial services, tech firms, SMEs, what's the big picture here?
I think the common thread is that AI is evolving incredibly fast. It's moving beyond just being a tool to becoming systems that are fundamentally reshaping how we work, how we interact with technology, and even how we ensure safety and compliance.
So understanding these shifts, even the seemingly far-off ones like Mechanize, isn't really optional anymore.
I'd say it's essential. Essential for staying competitive, for building resilient businesses, and for navigating the ethical considerations that come with this powerful technology.
Okay, so final thought to leave people with. As these AI capabilities get deeper, more profound, consider this.
If a startup seriously believes full automation is within reach, and if a single developer can build a universal memory for all AIs, what fundamental assumptions about your business, your industry, your future might need a rethink starting today?
The future isn't just about what AI can do, but how we'll redefine what doing business actually means.
A challenging but exciting prospect. Thanks for breaking that all down.
My pleasure. Lots to think about.